Hello, everyone. Thank you for joining. I'm Regina Santos, founder of Light Fusion Specialist Lighting, and I'm based in Dubai, in the UAE. I'd love to share my presentation with you, a light journey in bright, sunny Middle East, light insights and case studies. So, this is a Women in Lighting global gathering. It's the third Women in Lighting anniversary, and I'd like to congratulate and thank Sharon and Martin for putting us all together and for this amazing platform where we can actually share our work, our experience, our passion for lighting, and have a space to talk about inspiration, diversity, inclusion, and all that drives us to do what we do. So thank you both. And I'd like also to thank Huda Lighting for inviting me to speak today. So as a global gathering, I thought that a light journey would be appropriate just to show a few projects to you in the Middle East. I know we have just a little bit of time, but just a quick few projects that we're going to run through and go through the lighting insights of these case studies. So this is the Middle East, as you know, and this is a night shot of the Middle East, a night shot that we all have grown very used to, that shows all the inhabited areas and also the areas that create the most light pollution, the light pollution that we try to mitigate. So this is a night picture of Dubai, but actually here we have a very interesting time lapse from 1984 to 2012 that actually shows the rapid growth of this area, of this city. It's the Emirate of Dubai has expanded so much. I myself arrived in 2010, the beginning of 2010, and it has been an amazing experience to participate in all of the projects and see all of this growth. So now, more than 10 years after that, after 2012, we now have the expo. We have several beautiful projects executed and open in Dubai, and some state-of-the-art also light installations, especially seen at the expo with projection mapping and all of that. So you're very welcome to come and see and check it out whenever you can. So the light journey, I have tried to condensate as much as possible this life journey. So I'm showing you a couple of projects in Sharjah, a project in Dubai, and one in Abu Dhabi. So I believe that what links these projects together is the experience and the construction process behind them. So this is regardless of the style of the projects, from heritage to contemporary, it is the process behind the scenes that actually that we always go through, and that I believe that links any different kind of project together. So whatever we do see is always the tip of the iceberg, is the surface. Here we have the sugar loaf, for example, from Rio, my home city in Brazil. And actually the point is the depth of the work that we do, that is not just about the lighting layouts, but everything that goes behind the scenes to actually bring a project to completion. So this is a solar flare. It's the same singularity, it's the same event, but here it's shown through different optics of different wavelengths. So you can see how different it can be perceived, and I believe the same applies to the different consultants and sub-consultants that are involved in the project. All the different teams that come together, each one has their own agenda, each one has their own focus. And for us, for lighting, we are here to coordinate with each one of them to ensure the successful execution of the lighting scheme. So from the architecture, landscape architecture, the interior designer, the FF&E, the MEP team, the lighting control team, lighting manufacturers that we coordinate with, the project managers, contractors, site team, installation team, we're all here to work together and to coordinate the lighting to ensure that the execution is appropriate because we're working towards the same goal. So Sharjah, the Chadi Al Bayt is a boutique hotel in Sharjah, a five-star hotel, and it is located in a historical site. This site actually has inspired the architects to develop the plan of the project very much in a continuation and resembling the old streets and narrow passageways. So here, basically, the traditional architecture, the local traditional architecture, is the key aspect of this project. And it's something that has been embedded in the architecture, the interior design, the FF&E, in all the details from furniture to fabrics and to the lighting itself. So the architecture and interior design are by Gaj architects, and the lighting by the Flaming Beacon. I worked in this project for over 2 years in the execution, attending site for the inspections, for the supervision, and to ensure the lighting scheme would be successful. Here you can see some of the spaces of this heritage-looking space. It's very locally driven in its look and feel and its atmosphere. We have the restaurants, the courtyards, the guest rooms, the swimming pool and spa, a living room area, and one courtyard of the cafe area. So the most important thing here that goes, as I said, underneath the pretty picture is actually the extensive exercise of coordination. So the coordination with the architectural team to accommodate all the light fixtures, the mock-ups required, the site conditions. Being a historical site, not all light points that were shown in the drawings could actually be executed as per plan, and sometimes they had to be modified. So we try to ensure as best as possible that the lighting would come to the correct outcome, and also address some of the areas that had not been initially considered in the design. So here you can see the overall high point view of the project with all lights embedded in the facades of the building and in the courtyards. It's just a glimpse of the overall scheme of the project. Also, the mock-ups. Here you can see the mock-up that one of the mock-ups that we did for one of the guest rooms, because actually this is what we need to do in every single occasion, because in this instance, the color temperature was not right, the position of the LED behind the mirror was incorrect, and also lacking a diffuser, everything here, it did not work to what we wanted to achieve, which was this. So after amendments have been made and this has been confirmed, then we can actually confirm the scheme for all the other bedrooms and allow that everything will work appropriately to all the different bedrooms. There's not one single typical bedroom guest room in this project. All the guest rooms are atypical. They're single in its plan and layout, but still some typical details they are applied to different rooms, and it's important for us to coordinate that one error will not move forward, but that actually we can implement the correct approach that will be replicated to the other areas. Here you can see from the mock-up to the actual end result, the difference that the mock-up can make in the end result. Also, for the FF&E, understanding how much light the decorative fixtures can contribute to the space so that we can actually reduce the architectural light points. This is very important, and also understanding or ensuring that it is understood from the purchase fixtures from the FF&E team that um, the E27 bulb is what we need in the region, because we cannot purchase an E26 bulb. So whenever fixtures are purchased by the FF&E team, we as lighting designers, we need to coordinate with them, because in the end, we need to ensure that that the right light source is being used in these decorative fixtures. So also the snagging of the MEP electrical team is incredibly important. The site team, the electrical team, they're invaluable in their snagging and their the way that they need to ensure that the lighting will work appropriately. So from drivers not located in the right place, DIN cables needing to be pulled, all of this is carefully coordinated and supervised by the electrical team, MEP team, which we need to work very closely to, just to make sure that things are working properly. But without them, we cannot succeed in our scope. So they can actually transform this, which is actually from a project, I'm sad to say, and transform it into this. So making sense of all of the cabling and making sure that the light installation will work to the appropriate installation. So anyway, Hilton Doubletree in Sharjah. This is a more contemporary project. Here you can see the Doubletree brand implemented in the reception area, in patterns and the selection of the materials. In this project, I have worked closely with the interior design team from concept to completion. And some of the things that we saw here was basically from the lighting control sides, where the lighting control technician has misunderstood some aspects of the grouping of the fixtures, and we had some trouble. We had to troubleshoot the lighting in some ways, but we managed to solve all the issues and allow the lighting to be addressed for the proper scene setting in all the areas. So basically, we rely also in the lighting control team very much. So for the scene setting, for the color tuning, and also for the programming. Now, for the programming, we need to set all the light scenes from early morning to late evening and understand how the light is progressing, and even when a color change is required, how these changes are happening throughout the time span of the day, in this case to mimic to relate back to the daytime, to the natural light. So Dubai, this is the souk area. It's the traditional souk. It's a very traditional area in Dubai that you would certainly go to when you visit. You have the gold souk, the spice souk, the perfume souk, and it's a very traditional area because it has all of the commerce very tied up close together. And the scope of this project was actually to boost this area, creating new shading structures that the architecture team has proposed, from canvas to barasti, with stretched fabrics and the barasti traditional shading structure used here. And for the lighting, we have approached from single points to cluster of pendants in the barasti area, and festum lights in the stretch fabrics. So it is we were actually approached to do only the concept for the lighting of this area of this scheme, but it's important also to highlight how the dimming is important, especially for the festum lights, because once they are in full output, they can be quite sometimes just too bright. So addressing how the brightness of these fixtures will impact the space, the focus was also was always to retain the aspect of the traditional architecture. So it was not, it was an enhancement. So for that to happen properly, for us to be able to enhance the local architecture, we also needed to address to the client how the lights needed to be dimmed to provide the proper look and feel and the brightness levels. So Abu Dhabi, we have in Yas Island the middle headquarters in Warner Brothers Hotel. So here you can see the hotel facing the theme park, the service apartment. We did also the retail, where inside the middle headquarters is located. We did the facade lighting, interior, exterior, extensive landscape, and ground floor and mezzanine. And but now we're gonna focus on the middle headquarters. So this was a very trendy and user-focused project. A pleasure to work in this, and especially to see the involvement of the client, really wanting to create a unique atmosphere for the end user, where actually they would have different spaces to work to. So you have a lounge area. They could do a meeting, a workshop, and not focusing on the traditional office space, but actually having a more dynamic space to interact with one another. So you have here the ground floor, the mezzanine level, different cluster of skylights, one above the reception area and two other areas of skylight over another area of the office, and some nooks where you can have some focus time, you can have some meetings and workshops, small meetings and workshops, but then also other nooks that are slightly bigger where you can have a larger meetings, and some that are enclosed that actually you can have more privacy. So we have open office areas, enclosed offices, and in the double height spaces under the skylights, we have meeting areas, meeting that can also be used as a lounge. So in the ground floor, the reception and and the lounge area of the reception are seen in the lower line and one of the terraces. Now it's very important in our interaction with the interior design team that the lighting is not an afterthought, but is brought on board from the very beginning. Here we have managed to create, for example, a light box that mimicked a garden, like a window to a garden. And this had a very great impact on all the scheme, especially from the reception area, where behind the reception desk, you have this large meeting room, all involved in glass. And behind these meeting rooms is two rooms that actually had a blank wall in them, because behind them is an MEP area. And by creating this light box, by creating this impression of a garden, we brought depth to the space, and the depth that was very much appreciated by all, in the sense that we bring a level of brightness and depth and a focal point as well from the reception area and also from inside the room. So that this has been a very successful proposal. So and this goes through our interaction and communication with the signage, the kitchen consultant, the project manager, the contractor, the site team, installation team, all of them. The lighting manufacturer, for example, the binning, which is so important for us to actually have a good and successful scheme, and the color consistency even between different IP ratings. So we need always to communicate, to coordinate things with each other. And the work that we do on site is so incredibly important because we're all working together and working for the same goal. We want the projects to be successful, and we cannot achieve that alone. So this is my experience that I wanted to share with you today. I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you so much.